Thank you, Aranya. So as you may have already heard, we began work on the Barometer in 2018. It was a rocky start filled with frustration and wrong turns. We tried to establish a group of researchers as an advisory group and hoped to get their advice on how to begin. The lack of interest was palpable. The word reconciliation, we thought, was the problem. We understood that reconciliation was complex and deeply personal. It was a process and it didn't really lend itself to the usual project outputs and outcomes. But how to measure it? We didn't know how to present what we wanted to do in a manner that convinced others that it could be done. In the meantime, we had begun to study research on ethnicity, religion, and conflict. We identified 12 key areas that needed to be fulfilled if reconciliation was to be achieved. And later we called them domains and brought the number down to 8. We commissioned 8 experts to write concept notes to help us understand how these areas were connected to reconciliation within the Sri Lankan concept. And these papers are on the website. Aranya will take us through that. At the same time, we turned to the Institute of Justice and Reconciliation. Professor Rajan Govinda and Jan Hofmeyer, Jan is sitting there, came to Colombo to conduct a workshop for researchers and activists who had worked on reconciliation. Rajan started by asking, what comes to mind when you hear the word reconciliation? The room became very animated, and we were able to discuss reconciliation without the pressure to say the right things. We discussed the South African experiences, and a researcher from the North told me later that it was the first time that she had heard people talking sense about reconciliation, and I realized that we were on the right track. The Barometer does not define reconciliation. It is not necessary to define reconciliation in order to measure it or make progress in achieving it. Someone from Mullaitivu said when we were having these conversations there, reconciliation can happen only when people can feel it. We started to hold community consultations in every province. We met with people from all walks of life to talk about it. They were eager to talk. Fishermen in Panama and farmers in Monragala told me that the word Sanghindiyava in Sinhala meant nothing. They didn't understand it. They have never heard it before. However, when we continued to talk to them, we realized that they had strong, positive ideas about reconciliation and social cohesion. In Negombo, shortly after the attacks on churches, 2 groups of people from the same town but from different ethnic groups were yelling at each other in the same room. And at the end of it, they said, "This is very good. We should have more meetings like this." Reconciliation is an emotional issue. What people said about each of the 8 domains helped us in designing the questions to capture what was most important for the different people in Sri Lanka. During these meetings, I used to wonder if they said nice things to our faces while holding a different opinion, because at the same time, there were sporadic attacks on minorities happening in several different parts of the country. And we discussed this too with the people we met. The Barometer survey was conducted in the period between 2 lockdowns by Survey Research Lanka. They did so without a single hiccup or complaint, while strictly following COVID protocols. It was a pleasure to work with SRL, and they're here today. The Barometer is more than the perception survey, which renders quantifiable data, but qualitative methods are used to discover the multiple layers of truth that lie beneath the data. We have several qualitative studies that explore issues in depth on the website. The discussion papers also provide new insights to old questions. For example, during the conversations with people, we realized that active citizenship was the one that they had most difficulty with understanding. The paper on the bystander effect on the website discusses what motivates some people to stand up for the rights of others and why other people don't. Do read the discussion papers, they are bold and interesting. We wanted to return to the communities who had helped us to discuss the barometer domains. It was not possible to do so because of COVID. There are many reasons why we need the barometer in Sri Lanka today. It holds a mirror to our society and helps to understand what ethnic others think and why. I was actually very surprised as to how similar people's thoughts are on important issues across districts, ethnic groups, religion, and gender. There is only one annual barometer survey that is completed, and also 6 research studies. At the end of this year, there will be results of another survey out, as well as more research studies. Learning how people think on a variety of issues will help us understand each other better and to appreciate and celebrate the differences. From the barometer, what I learned was that there is a healthy demand for reconciliation and that it has a positive meaning of peace and unity for Sri Lankans. The progress achieved fell far shorter of people's expectations. And that is something that we need to remember as we go forward with the barometer. Thank you.